Chapter 1, Mama's Bladed Hands. The first weapon I ever held was my mother's hand.
Why did you want to start the novel there?
So this is, that's a very hard question for me to answer. I struggle with beginnings. So I'm a linear writer. I write from the beginning to the end. So 7 years ago when I started writing this book, I started at chapter 1, and then I sent it to my editor, Kathy Belden. She told me that the beginning was not working as well as it should be. Kathy said, well, maybe we could start with Annis and her mother, right? So that we get some time to witness that relationship that Annis has with her mom. Once I began writing that first chapter, I was like, oh, so I'm gonna have to rewrite the second chapter and much of the third chapter too. Like, I realized I had to rewrite a lot. One of the things that you want to do in a good beginning is you want to give the reader some indication of what's important. In Annis's world, much of what drives her and motivates her throughout the rest of the novel is her love for her mother and her coming to a new understanding of who her mother was after she's lost her mother. I wanted to maybe clue the reader into some of that with that first line. I was a small child then, soft at the belly. On that night, my mother woke me and led me out to the Carolina woods, deep, deep into the murmuring trees, black with the sun's leaving. The bones in her fingers, blades and sheaths, but I did not know this yet. I think I wanted to surprise the reader by using unusual figurative language, like in the very beginning, right? By making this unusual connection between this character's mother and a weapon, or this character's mother's hand and a weapon. My mother has a few gray hairs, but her fingers are still sure as daggers, and she is still upright, slim and straight in the full moon's gloom. We come here to our secret clearing with the burnt tree at its heart, only a few nights out of the month, when the moon shines full so we don't need a fire. My mother inspects my hands, pressing each callus, massaging my palm. I may be bigger and thicker than her now, but I stand still as the gap-toothed child I was and revel in her touch, unfurled to her tenderness.